Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Kitty's Kitchen. Today, guess what? I'm making cookies. Cookies is on the agenda. So, I'll just show you so far what we've done. Mixed regular Domino sugar, brown sugar, a cup of brown sugar, a half a cup of Domino's regular sugar, a teaspoon and a half of vanilla, and this recipe called for Crisco shortening. This is Crisco. Usually you see Crisco in like a bucket type of thing, but I've noticed that if this is original, these come in like butter size sticks, and a whole stick is would be a cup. So it called for a cup of shortening, of Crisco shortening. So I didn't want to spend the $7 for a whole bucket. I was only going to use 1 cup. So I just instead got these 3 cups of Crisco butter or Crisco shortening things, and I used 1 of them. So that's what I used. Anyway, so that's what we had so far in the mixture, is to mix all the ingredients, and came up with this. This is our base. This is like with the brown sugar and vanilla and shortening in it. Right here, and 2 eggs actually was called 2. So mix it all together until it's become creamy. So you do that. And the next thing that you would want to do is add the flour. It's 2½ cups of flour. And we're going to put it in the oven, so preheat the oven to 350. So these flour you want to add into the mixture, and it also calls for a teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of salt. So we'll go ahead and add that now. Teaspoon baking soda. And baking soda helps it bake. That's why it's called baking soda. It's going to help bake it. And then a little bit of 1 teaspoon of salt, which always is very good. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to put some of these ingredients in the sink. So now we're going to add this flour mixture into the blended mixture here. So little by little, that was kind of a lot, but it's mixing okay. And you want to get things off the sides. And you want to blend it. And maybe if you have a blender, that would be all right, but I'm using a very basic recipe. And I chose this recipe because it didn't require a lot of power tools. I don't have a lot of fancy blenders and things like that. So I'm just basically using this recipe because it sounded pretty simple, with simple ingredients and simple blending necessities. So it seemed all right. So it looks like it's gathering together. Just a little bit more flour. Put the last bit of the flour, baking soda, and salt in there. It's all mixed up together. So after we've mixed this all together, we'll spoon it out and the theme of these cookies is they're M&M cookies. So this is my Easter treat that I didn't get to make at Easter that I wanted to, but it's a M&M cookie, and I love M&Ms at Easter, and I've been really good, but all Easter not eating a whole lot of chocolates and things like that. But kind of on Easter you want to be able to eat all those goodies. So this is my sort of Easter treat, if you will. It kind of got put off a little bit because of the coronavirus. I wasn't anxious to go to the grocery store back then, but so I'm making it now. I finally did make it to the grocery store yesterday, and now I'm making them. So let me just stir this up a little bit more, and I'm going to put you on pause and come back when they're ready to scoop up. Okay, bye for now. Hello, I'm back again. So the mixture is mixed. The flour mixture is mixed in there with the baking soda and salt. And of course I had a little taste of it. You know how you taste cookie dough? Well, I had a little taste of it, and it was delish so far. So far so good. Now, the M&Ms. So in the cookie, it calls for a 3/4 cup. And then you're supposed to add some M&Ms at the on top of the cookie. Okay. So I'm gonna save some for the on top too. There's some in here too. So anyway, now we look in. We see the candies in there, the M&Ms, and I'm doing this video. It's kind of a request. Firstly, shout out to Kenny, who requested. He said, he said, how about some cookies? Like, do cookies next or whatever. And so, anyway, it gave me the idea, and also that I wanted to do cookies for Easter. And my friend Bess also said, do something for Easter, although I'm late on the Easter thing. But anyway, I'm going to call them Easter cookies, you know, because Easter is kind of a season where it's kind of a different date every year, and it's just kind of like a season where it could be a certain date one year and a certain date another year. So I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel as Easter cookies. So that's the theme of this cookies today. So this is my Easter treat, which it is, my Easter treat. Anyway, so here we are with the candies. Now we're going to mix them in there into the dough. Oh, wow. That's pretty exciting. It's these particular M&Ms are very colorful, which is nice. I'll move my arms so that you can maybe see. Mixing around the candies into the dough. Okay. So anyway, now to put them on the parchment paper. So here is the parchment paper. As you can see right here, this is a set of parchment paper, and as you can tell, parchment paper is useful for several different reasons. I made the pizza on parchment paper too. But I've noticed that this utensil does happen to come in very handy. It's like a specifically a cookie scooper. So with this cookie scooper, I'm gonna make little balls, like a little ball like this, little balls, and just place them on the cookie sheet. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to push pause because this will take a little minute. But I'll be back when it's all ready to go in the oven. Okay, bye. Hello, so we're back. So here's the cookie dough spread out on the sheet on the pan here. And so what the recipe calls for is just to stick some M&Ms on the top here of each one, and some of them already probably have enough M&Ms in them, but this is kind of like just to kind of make it look pretty and like full of M&Ms when you get it out of the oven. Oop. So I hope I spaced these out okay. I'm working with one baking sheet, so I'm going to have to do it in a couple batches because there's a little bit more dough. But I hope these don't melt together, you know, too much. I've tried to space them out as much as I could on this one baking sheet. And it looks really nice. They're like looking very colorful. Oh goody, I'm excited. I had a few M&Ms last night and I was like, oh yay. Yeah, there's a big one in the corner. Big one up there. Okay. So each of them gets some M&Ms on them. Okay. So it says to go into the oven for about 9 to 11 minutes. So into the oven, and I'll set my timer. Okay, so we'll be back in about 9 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, bye. Okay, so they're out of the oven. I just wanted to show you what they look like. It looks really nice, huh? Very pretty. I took them out of the oven while they were still a little bit soft, but I figure when they cool down, they'll harden up a little bit. Because I didn't want the bottoms to get too burnt. You want to be careful not to burn the bottoms too much. So if you take them out of the oven a little bit when they're still a little bit gooey, it's just slightly, they'll, you know, harden as they cool down. So I'm going to let them cool down a little bit and put in my second batch and hopefully eat one, which will be good. Okay, see ya.